All right, hi everyone. Thanks again for taking the time to have a listen. This is another episode of the Bastion Roundtable. Today we've got us with Renato Goebel from Braskem, and we're going to be talking about sustainability in supply chain. Now, I guess just in terms of why today's topic, certainly if you're paying any attention to the press or media or just running working in a supply chain context right now, sustainability is a pretty hot topic, not only in business, but obviously in supply chain too. Lots of money, lots of investment, lots of initiatives around offsetting your carbon footprint, around reducing waste, reducing packaging, just reducing the impact that supply chains, packaging, delivery, your operations have on the environment and on the globe. So it's definitely an area that we want to talk about, and it's certainly something that I think everyone's going to be interested in listening. Um, with us today, we've got Renato. So Renato is the head of Asia for chemicals, business development, and chemical recycling at Braskem. For those who don't know Braskem, Braskem is a Brazilian company actually owned by Odebrecht. Now, I'm apologizing if I'm mispronouncing some of these names. That's my lack of global tongue. But the company operates in the chemical and petrochemical sector across 41 units globally as well. So very large organization, lots of different businesses and services and products they provide. Before working at Braskem, I mentioned Renato had worked at Odebrecht. He'd also worked at Votorantim, Klaben, and Embraer. Did I pronounce any of those correctly, or are those pretty bad?
I was pretty close.
So you can have a look at him online after if you want. MBA qualified from USC in Southern California. He's also got a master's degree in finance and a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering. So exceptionally smart, well versed in this space, and someone with a lot of value to add to this conversation. So look, in terms of trends and products, I guess I'd pass it over you to Renato just to give us a bit of an update on what you're seeing in the market in this sector and any kind of new initiatives coming through in the sustainability sector.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you having me here today. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes.
Thank you. So what we see, the sustainability is a trend, right? Everywhere you can see this happening with this pandemic happening everywhere. I think is reinforcing the trend, right? So it's changing our lifestyle. So people are looking for a more balanced and healthy life. We have new demands like e-commerce, new product demands.
Hmm.
So packaging products, for example, with all these deliveries. So we've been seeing new demand for new products and new demand for healthy related products. Right?
Yep.
Sustainability, we are pretty strong in Braskem. We have our growth strategy based on two pillars. One is carbon neutral. So we announced we're gonna be carbon neutral by 2050. It's a
Okay.
way to go to be carbon neutral, but we are already 20% lower than 2008. So we have
Well.
several initiatives.
Okay.
One of the initiatives we have biopolymers. So we produce plastics from sugarcane. They are not related to oil extraction. So from sugar cane go from sugar and ethanol. The ethanol
Okay.
we convert into polymers. It's not biodegradable, right? But it's biopolymers. This is a negative carbon footprint because of the
Okay.
sugar.
Right.
So this is a strong part of our strategy. We
Hmm.
have we call like a green polyethylene. Then we have the green EVA, and we have a bio-MEG. So some plastics and chemicals coming from sugarcane.
Okay.
And we also have the circular economy where we're investing a lot to tackle the plastic waste. So
Yep.
the idea is to reduce the use of plastics,
Hmm.
reuse the plastic, recycle the plastic, and then the correct disposal. And And we also can use this circular economy together with the green products to offer recycled products combined with biopolymers, right? So it's a new trend and
What's a
very
bio? Do you mind explaining what a biopolymer is? I'm nowhere smart enough to know what that is. Sorry.
the biopolymers. I mean, where does
Yeah.
it go?
Yeah.
It's a plastic, so it can go to any application you can imagine. For example, packaging material for foods,
Yep.
uh, AVA go for tennis shoes,
Yep.
uh, automobile industries. So it goes
Okay.
like package for the biopolymers. They are a bit more expensive, as you can imagine. So usually goes to high-end products like pharmaceutical packages,
Okay.
cosmetic packages, and
Yep.
Japan is a big market for that.
Okay.
Yeah, Japan is a big market for that. So
Nice.
that's more or less our strategy based on sustainability, right? Braskem is investing a lot of money, and this affect the products, but also, of course, the supply chain. Right?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. It's interesting. I mean, it's definitely you can certainly see even just on the packaging side, about how much of a focus around reducing the size, the impact of the packaging. I was
Yeah,
curious to ask you, actually, and I just thought of this. How much time is, I mean, can you just give us a bit of context around the investment in terms of not so much cash, but in terms of time and resources internally in Braskem that are focused around new products that are, that are reducing the impact? Like, is there divisions? Is there staff? How big is the infrastructure within Braskem to do this type of work?
yeah, it's a good question. We are expanding, just to give you an idea of value, right? We are expanding our green PE production in
Yep.
it's announced already by 2022 we will have extra 60,000 tons of product.
Wow. Okay.
Roughly, this will cost us about $60 million to increase the production.
Yep.
But do have a program in mainly in Brazil we call Braskem Labs,
Hmm.
where we collaborate with startups. So
Okay.
related to chemicals or plastics, they come with the idea. So we select 10 ideas out of the all applications.
Oh yeah.
We have seen like amazing results. So like you mentioned, we have a startup who managed to reduce almost by 40% the amount of plastics in a package in that specific
Wow.
package, right? Just one example. But
Yep.
it's a beautiful program. I'll be glad to share you more details later on.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting. You mentioned a couple industries like obviously the automotive, the cosmetics, pharmaceuticals. From what you are seeing and obviously working with existing customers and trying to bring on new customers, do you think there are industries that are untapped or that could be doing even more from your perspective, or is it kind of everyone's trying to get on board with this concept?
I guess it's a question now of raising the bar because is already everywhere, right? So it's
Yep.
now a question of going to a more sustainable product, for example, these biopolymers, or using it better in terms of waste, of
Yep.
of a better package. And also on the recycle part is the collection is an issue so far.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to collect the plastic waste and then recycle it. So this is happening in Southeast Asia, a lot of programs to help on the collection of the plastic waste.
Yep.
And in Northeast Asia, you can see a better application already of these materials, like a more high-end application.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I can think of a couple of examples. I mean, here in Australia, specifically around waste collection and reduction for plastics, they're starting to use technology to monitor who puts what into what bin, right? And then allocate fines, right? So it's the behavior of, because I think everyone thinks everything is recyclable now, which is not the case, right? And so you get a lot of waste in the network around what products are going into what recycling depots or how it's being processed, and that just caught waste time, energy, and actually resources as well. And even before the pandemic, we spent a bit of time, my wife and I, in Japan, and they've got a really structured method, and very they are probably one of the more advanced, companies, countries, when it comes to sorting waste, sorting plastic, reusing it, and putting it in a position to be processed effectively to reduce that impact already. So you're probably right. It comes down to raising the bar, but also policy and government initiatives to put the right strategies in place. It's all well and good to say let's recycle, but how do you do it? What's the best way to do it, and how to maximize that impact? I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And if you think about it, it's the whole supply chain we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Collection to the transportation, and then you recycle, and then after you have the recycled material, it's like you have to distribute it. Singapore, for example, they also don't have that even here, right? So
yeah,
they collect, okay, they collect the plastic waste, but at the end they burn it. They generate energy, but still not the most efficient way. So they are studying,
yeah.
investing to separate this material to then recycle, which is a better way to tackle this problem.
Sure. Tell the audience about you mentioned when we spoke a couple of weeks ago about this carbon footprint offset, this NAFTA cargo to Brazil. Tell everyone about the what this delivery and this envoy meant, and I guess the impact and future potential for this.
Yeah, this was a beautiful operation, if I may say, we did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is under our carbon neutral strategy, right? So the our feedstock, it's naphtha coming from oil, right? So to get naphtha, you have to the oil extraction, then the oil goes into by pipeline usually to a refinery.
Yep.
It breaks down to different products, right? We get the naphtha,
Hmm.
then you go transportation to wherever you have your crackers, and then you use your naphtha to get your products, right? So what we did, and then all this process, you have a lot of carbon emission. Right?
Hmm.
We managed to have the whole process, the whole supply chain here offsetted in terms of carbon emission. So
Wow.
we had a Braskem bought the cargo, right? That offset the oil extraction, the pipeline transportation, the refinery production, and then the transportation from US, the naphtha from US to Brazil by ship,
Wow.
all carbon offsets, right? So we basically bought a naphtha with zero carbon emission. This is quite new in the
Yep.
market. It's quite new in the market, but we see that as a big future considering what's happening in the world, right? People looking to more sustainable and more environmental friendly products.
So just for those who don't have an understanding like myself around what would typically be the volume of carbon emissions in that particular process, like can you give us a comparison as to what it normally would be without this new tech and new solution compared to what it was?
Yeah, it's a lot of CO2 emissions, right? I
Yeah.
have the number.
Oh, it's okay if you don't have it on the spot. I was just
I don't
curious.
have it spot the number here, but I can send to you later. But we bought 325,000 barrels of naphtha,
Yeah.
and then the whole supply chain here, it's a lot of CO2 emission. It's a lot of
Right.
CO2. I can, but anyway, and how to offset this, right? Because the product is the same actually, just offset the carbon emissions. So we have other projects with negative carbon emission, right? For example, forests or any other project that can capture CO2 from the atmosphere.
Yep.
So we do invest in other projects that is a negative carbon emission, and this is verified by an independent company, right? The name is Verify Carbon Standard. There's a website,
Yep.
and to prove, right, you have a certificate that you are taking out CO2 from the atmosphere. And we have recently actually there's a in California there's a market for that already. So it's kind of
Sure.
how to price this. It's coming online as well, so you can
Okay.
kind of buy this.
No,
The
that's fantastic.
process was beautiful.
Yeah, no, that's really great. I mean, it's great to see a new initiatives coming into the marketplace that that just again reduce that impact. And I guess we wanted to leave this on just from a supply chain logistics perspective. Tell us about this new hub that's being developed in Singapore with Braskem, and what have you guys got going on right now?
Yeah, so in Asia, right? Braskem in Asia, we have our commercial office in Singapore. We
Mhm.
don't have yet any production assets, so we are here to support the Asia demand. So we bring our products from our plants like Brazil, Mexico, US, and Europe,
Mhm.
and then we sell in Asia. So we sell chemicals and polymers, so very different transportation mode like bulk, iso tanks, or containers.
Mhm.
And one of the issues we have to supply is the transit time, right? All the way, like for example, from Brazil to Asia, it's quite a long voyage.
Sure.
Chemicals in a bulk, you're talking maybe 45 days.
Mhm.
Containers, depends where, it might take the same. And
Mhm.
this impact on how we serve our clients, right?
Right.
The transit time. So one of the way to tackle that we found is to have a regional hub.
Mhm.
And we managed to start that this year in
Okay.
Singapore. We have a hub here in Singapore where we can bring our containers
Mhm.
in a bounded warehouse here in Singapore. And then from here, we can sell to whenever we want, right? In Southeast Asia or Northeast
Yeah.
Asia. And the clients kind of, we don't have more this long lead time, right? We are playing locally already.
Mhm.
So this
Mhm.
was a big change for Braskem. That's a milestone for us.
Oh, look, that's fantastic. And I guess I would be remiss to not ask. Obviously, a lot of that's ocean from almost all of it's ocean freight. I mean, how is Braskem? I would, we wouldn't be talking about supply chain logistics correctly if we didn't talk about, delays and challenges with ocean freight right now. How are you guys coping with that? What are you seeing in terms of trends and your organization's ability to deal with some of these constraint issues we're having right now?
Yeah. The supply chain, it's of course, if you wanna support your customers, you need to tackle all the supply chain, right? And then we do have lately, if you see US with the climate problem they have, could not export their products.
Mm,
All these vessels that was like stuck in the Suez. So all of this affect us. How do we serve our clients, right?
yep,
We have a big team on supply chain. They're based in Europe for
yep,
time because of the time zones. And then we what we how we manage this is if we on the chemical side that we depend on the whole vessel, we usually time charter the vessel. So we have the whole vessel for us for some time. Then the way we can control the vessel.
hmm,
But we also on the spot as well. Whenever we need a higher demand of shipping, we go to
hmm.
the market to hire a vessel. Right?
Gotcha.
And on the polymer side, on the plastic side, right, it's more like a container. We have,
Hmm.
of course, agreement with the majors, the main shippers,
Yeah.
and the logistic hub. So this way, with this hub here, we kind of can play locally, so we don't depend so much on what's happening in other parts of the world, right? We can serve our customers from Singapore.
Okay. All right. Look, that's great. I mean, again, it's great to see the investment. It's great to see the success in the region for you and for the business as well. I know we've known each other for some time, so I'm happy for you on that front. So look, that probably wraps us up today. So again, I wanted to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to Renato and myself. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it insightful like I did as well. The link for the video will be in the comment section below. If you have any questions for myself or for Renato, please feel free to add them or reach out directly. And I hope you enjoyed the session. Take care, everyone. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you very much.